Hello, this is AlzaboHD, and welcome back to episode 2 of our Stellaris Let's Play series as the Terrascian Union, a communist totalitarian dictatorship. In the last episode, we basically went over exactly what makes this a communist dystopian dictatorship. It is in fact a despotic hegemony, and for all of the information you need to know about what makes this an absolutely awful empire to live in, check out episode 1, but for this episode we are going to get started on scouting and scanning our solar system, and hopefully expanding quite a bit with our colonies and infrastructure. So let's go ahead and get started. Now the first thing for any Stellaris playthrough is to go ahead and queue up our research. And because we are naturally gifted physicians, we should be getting physics research a bit faster. Although it seems to me this is a bit slanted for us right now. Maybe this will change later. So for our physics research, let's go ahead and select something good. Now, with the system in Stellaris, you are given an option between 3 different things to choose from, much like a card system from other types of strategy games. Now, this is interesting because some of these cards you'll never get again if you select the wrong one, or if you select one that's not as good, perhaps you might never get it again. So it's important for us to select something that will be quite good for us. So our physician, Agustina Martinez, is good at researching field manipulation technologies. Unfortunately, none of these are available currently. So let's go ahead and go with quantum theory to work on physics labs. I will reiterate that I am incredibly inexperienced with Stellaris. This will be a learning opportunity for both you and me. Well, maybe not you. Maybe you are familiar with this particular game. I am definitely not. So for our society, it's pretty much a no-brainer in terms of the society research. Let's go with colony ships to expand a bit faster. Although certainly the other technologies looked quite a bit better in terms of expanding our leader's lifespan. We'll have to pick those up later. In terms of engineering, we are going to pick up, let's see, we have the choice between improving our fleets, improving our armies and minerals, and taking engineering facilities. So let's go ahead and take powered exoskeletons for the time being. Of course, none of this is incredibly important. We can always reschedule technologies later on, and pretty much none of those technologies will bite us later on. They're all pretty good. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and reset the tips if I can. If I can somehow pull that up. I actually have no idea how to do that, so next time our annoying robot advisor pops up, I'll go ahead and give him a talking to. So here is the Terrascian Union. Again, we are in the eastern part of our elliptical galaxy, which means that more than likely we might have some expanding space, some Lebensraum over here in the east in which to expand our dictatorship. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start moving our military ships around. In this case, we might be able to find some alien life forms, or perhaps even some spatial anomalies, Anomalies, that's the word I'm looking for, to increase our scientific progress. So what we're going to do is, well, wow, this looks a bit confusing, doesn't it? Let's go here first. We're going to go here. I'm holding down Shift to go ahead and select these planets, by the way, and then we'll go meet up back at Solus. So our military ships are going to be on Recon, which is great. They are named the First Fleet, which is just fine. Let's go back to the galaxy map of our solar system, I should say. And before we do anything, we need to be absolutely certain that our science ship is surveying something. It's important that this ship is being kept busy, because this is what's going to allow us to see what resources and what planets are able to be colonized for our great despotic hegemony, the Terrascian Union. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and survey our system. And this system, again, is similar to that of ours here on the Milky Way galaxy here in our solar system. Of course, Mars, Saturn, the Moon, all of that great stuff is currently here. Of course, the Moon is named Luna, which is the name in some languages, which is cool. So our survey ship is busy. Our military ships are busy. We are going to go ahead and build some ships as well. So we're going to build 2 Corvette-class fighters. And don't show me again, man. Just shut up. Alright, so we've got 2 Doolittle-class ships coming out. Not to be confused with the terrible movie, The Doolittles, or forgot exactly what that was called. The movie with, not Will Smith. Oh, okay, it doesn't even matter. Alright, so, let's go back to the game here. So we're going to go and unpause the game. Of course, we've got our military ships going out to explore a bit. We've got our scientific ship surveying our system. And right now, our construction ship is inactive, as we have nothing to build of note as of yet. So we got a new heir to our empire, Deputy Overlord Guillermo Lopez, which is quite interesting, considering our current leader is named Olafur Olanovo. He comes from, let's say, Norway or Sweden, and our heir to the throne is somehow, you know, Spanish, Mexican, Colombian, you know, you just use your imagination, I suppose. Very interesting. We do have a very multi-ethnic society once again. Although we do have a totalitarian communist dictatorship, it is not necessarily Russian or any particular ethnicity, which is great. We have unified the planet of Terrascia. This is not Earth, but let's pretend for a second that all of the nations are unified under our rule, which they are indeed. So that's great. An interesting thing that I've noticed is that, as you guys remember from the previous episode, Olafur, which is our dictator, actually had a beard and some jazz in hair, but he seems to have lost his beard and the transition of loading screen to Let's Play footage here, which is kind of shitty, but it is what it is. So let's go and check out Overlord Guillermo Lopez. Okay, there's no way to check him out. Let's go ahead and hit space and go ahead and see what's going on here. So our handy-dandy little robot companion over here is giving us some information about warp drives. Let's see. So we have to get outside of the range of the gravity well of a star to warp out of the system. So we have to get rid of, or rather, space ourselves from our star of Solus before we can make a warp jump. And if you just zoom in over here, the star looks absolutely incredible in this game. These planets look absolutely incredible, very well detailed, very well rendered. Of course, our science ship now is going over to the sun to survey it. Perhaps the sun will offer us some energy credits or something else in which we can eventually construct some sort of either resource or mining station in the orbit around the particular star. Right, so again, we are creating some fleets very, very slowly, and our first fleet is working on exploring a little bit outside of our cosmic neighborhood. Of course, here they are. They are warping through over here into Bernard's star. Now, before we survey the systems, it's kind of, oops, we found an anomaly.
From time to time, our science ships will discover strange
Alright, so
worlds. These can be researched by scientists, but be certain there's
a small chance of losing either the scientist or the science ship, or if we are especially unlucky, both. Right, so let's go check out the anomaly on Mercury. Let's see, anomaly level 1, failure risk of 0%, not too bad. Let's resume its previous actions when done. Let's go and research the anomaly. These anomalies can sometimes boost our scientific output and our scientific progress, so it's always a good idea to check it out if there is no chance of failure. Even if there's a low chance of failure, in my book, it's worth it. Again, don't take my advice too literally. I haven't watched too much in terms of other Let's Play series of the pre-release, so I don't know too much in terms of what's going on here. But our science ship now is researching that anomaly. Let's go and check it out. Right, so here we go. We're checking out that anomaly. Let's go ahead and speed things up just a little bit. And we're going to zoom out once again to check out what's going on over here with our ships. So we checked out the Bernard star. There is a Class M star. I'm not exactly sure what that means. We will check it out later when we survey it. Class A star over here. Okay, let's go back over to Solus. Oh, and we are just warping between these planets quite fast, which is fantastic. Of course, our new, I guess, ships will be able to merge in with our old ships. So let's go ahead and see.
Construction complete.
The anomaly on Mercury turned out to be a natural geometrical formation. It almost looks like a marker showing the way forward. The natural beauty of the universe can be quite astonishing. We should continue to investigate these sorts of anomalies whenever we get the chance. It will most assuredly grant us new knowledge and technology. Well, fantastic. I'm not sure if that gives us anything of notes, but I suppose it's better than nothing. Right, so let's go back into our view over here. As you guys can see, we have finished constructing our 2 ships, and for now, we are going to kind of just stay put with the ships that we have. We don't want to build too many, because they do cost mineral maintenance. Of course, over here on the right, much like most other Paradox interactive games, there is a naval force limit for spaceships. Currently, we can field 12 units worth of naval ships, and we are filling slightly less than half of our naval force limit. Eventually, once we start upgrading the infrastructure of Terrascia and our solar system, once we start getting some more mineral upkeep here, we are going to go ahead and pump out some more ships, but for the time being, there is no existential threat to the existence of our species, so we are going to more than less likely just scout around with these ships and then meet up back at Solus, where we will merge up with our other fleet, the first fleet. Let's go ahead and unpause once again. Of course, our science ship is still quite busy here, and the Solus star system. Checking out these planets. It has found nothing of note outside of the anomaly thus far. In fact, it might behoove us to survey outside of the system eventually, and we will. Right, so once again, our construction queue is done. Fantastic. And I've chosen, again, the Warp Drive FTL just because I am a beginner. Later on, once I do more series, and in this particular game, we will switch over to the other types of FTL transport, notably the ones that are more complicated. So an unidentified object has been detected on a direct course towards the Sirius system. Where is the Sirius system? Well, I don't exactly know. I'm not really well versed in the geography of our particular galaxy, or at least our particular part of the galaxy just yet. So let's go ahead and unpause. It looks like it's just passing through for the moment, which is totally fine for me. We could opt to
entities.
right.
We can learn more about them and maybe even initiate first
So
contact
if
by
we
completing
opt
the
to complete a
appropriate
special project, which is basically investigating the source of the aliens, we will maybe be able to open up diplomatic relations with them, you know, like finding out where exactly this alien species comes from, maybe their sort of government, maybe even potential alliances or potential future warfare conquests here. So why don't we go and investigate?
The situation log displays a list of all currently available
No, I don't want that.
projects and
Alright, I don't want that either.
screen.
Let's go ahead and investigate that. So the special projects from the left. Okay, this is definitely not what I want to look for here. Alright, so I can't investigate it yet because the tutorial is blocking me for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. But it's okay, our ships are safe, no worries. We actually have 2 unidentified objects now. I guess we have to complete the tutorial survey home system before we are able to investigate the alien species. Bit of a design oversight if that is the case, but that is okay. I am more than happy to do that. Because our current other navy is occupied, let's go ahead and send these guys out over here. Oh, actually, it's too far outside of my warp range, so I'm not actually able to do that for the time being, but that's okay. No worries. Let's go back into our solar system map. Looks like we found one planet that will offer us some sort of resource. Uranus, which is a gas giant, will offer us 3 energy credits if we build a mining station in the orbit of the planet. To me, that sounds like a pretty damn good trade-off. If we go to the construction ship over here and build a mining station, you guys will see that it will cost us an upfront cost of 81 minerals with only a monthly maintenance modifier of 1 energy credit per month. Now, there will be a net benefit or a net profit of 2 energy credits per month if I build a mining station there, and we need energy as we are only making 3 a turn, so this seems almost like a no-brainer to me. We are going to go ahead and use our construction ship to create a mining outpost in the orbit of Uranus. Let's go and hit unpause to check that out really fast. So our second fleet is back at home. What is this? It looks like they are warping. Let's go ahead and see where... Okay, so our second fleet is going into the star system over here. That's totally fine. For our first fleet, which is in Solus, could we go over here? We can, okay. So we just can't go down here? We can if we warp through there. Well, that's going to take too long. Why don't we go ahead and send our first fleet over here on another reconnaissance mission. We'll send our second one also on a reconnaissance mission, and they will both meet up eventually at the Solus star system. It's important that we, again, survey our surroundings, just so we can get a good idea of what type of life is out there. Now, interesting thing to note is that we are neither xenophobe or xenophile, so we are a bit ambivalent. That is to say that we don't really care about aliens. We don't feel necessarily one way or the other about them in particular. So we could investigate these aliens, of course, after we complete our tutorial. That, yeah, again, that's a bit of an oversight. I wish I could go ahead and skip that tutorial. In fact, why don't we go ahead and open the settings of the gameplay. Let's see if we can, right, so tutorial, let's pull up tips. I don't want the full tutorial. Again, I don't know everything there is to know about this game, but I would rather not get spoken to or spoken down by a robotic minion. I am the communist dictator, and everybody answers to me, okay? I don't want to hear the advice of anybody, much less a damn stupid robot. Let's go ahead and close the galaxy map and head over here back to our solar system. So over here, as you guys can see, we've got a construction ship. Whoa. 1 second. I was going to say we have a construction ship heading over to Uranus to construct our mining station in the planetary orbit, but it looks like we have an encounter in Sargas. We've encountered some form of alien vessel in the Sargasso system. These strange objects have been flagged as alpha aliens. We should proceed with caution. So, it did not take long for the Terrascian Union to come across intelligent alien life. The fleet's report to the Terrascian capital somewhat understates just how alien these forces appear, and only in passing mentions the failure to open communications. So this is an ambivalent response, largely, towards the aliens. Of course, if you choose to be a xenophobic or a xenophilic empire, these responses will vary tremendously, but as an ambivalent empire, we just simply couldn't be asked to care about the alien threat, right? Because this is going to be a threat more than likely. Let's hit OK. And of course, now that we see hostile fleets, okay, let's go back over here to this star system over here. There is some hostile forces outside of here. More than likely, they are not alien civilizations. They are more than less likely to be perhaps pirates or planetary monsters. You know, we don't really know exactly in Stellaris. I'm not exactly sure. We could opt to investigate them. It'll finish in only 180 days. Why not? Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's go ahead and research them. I misspoke too soon. Earlier, I was unable to investigate the aliens because I guess they were not too close out of my sensor range. You know, again, I'm not exactly sure. If you guys know, feel free to leave it in the comment below. I am always willing to learn more and more about this game. I know almost next to nothing. But as you guys can see, we are successfully scouting out some regions of the planet, which is great. So we now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Terrassia. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists, our alien biologists that is to say, have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable life-bearing worlds. Let's see. A commendable initiative. Let's go ahead and do that, because we want to, again, find some planets in which to colonize. Hopefully they are continental or Gaia, in which case we will be able to settle them without issue. Of course, if we do find a planet that is completely unsuitable for colonization, we can always send our slaves over there. That is to say, our penal slaves, our people in our penal colonies. Will set up some gulags in the outer rim. That will be very unpleasant to live in, but, again, we do need some sort of presence outside of our own solar system. So what better way to do that than setting up our own penal colony? Right. So all of this stuff, largely it's okay. Habitable worlds surveyed 8. Let's see. Let's see what our science ship is up to. So our science ship is currently in the Solus system. Let's go back into the Solus system right here. And it is, let's see, it's over here. It's currently en route to check out the asteroid Vesta, which is okay. We're going to continue to have it scout our solar system. Again, because we are investigating the alien species, we are not researching our society technology, which means our colony ships are still quite a bit of ways away, which means that we have time to survey our system. Might as well survey our system before we survey any other. At least that is my opinion. Meanwhile, our construction ship is working quite well on creating a mining station around Uranus in order to harvest the energy credits that are in store there. Now, this is an Iron Man, again, so this will be quite a bit challenging if we run into any problems. But so far, our ships have not ran into really any problems, which is fantastic. Looks like our ship is over here. What is it doing exactly? Is it moving? Okay, it's warping. Gotcha. I don't know exactly how the warp FTL works, but it's pretty useful. It looks like it has to go back and forth between our home system before it warps out. And more or less likely, it warped away from the Sargeras system just because it encountered hostile aliens, right? Just like our first fleet did here with the hostile intel. Which is okay. Largely, this is okay. Not a big deal, not a big issue. And it's actually incredibly close to... Right. So over here, we have hostile forces. And again, I'm very, very bad at this. Yeah, so I am on the outer fringe of the Sargeras system. I am in no immediate danger of being killed, which is fantastic. Let's go zoom back into the Solus system with our glorious communist red here. Now I'm going to go and pause the system, or pause the game. Our scientist, Bwana Okeke, who has a very African name for such a pale face, has successfully gained a level, which is great. Looks like he's an archaeologist now too, which is fantastic. He is currently on board the scientific ship Columbus. This will perhaps increase our survey speed, which is always a fantastic thing. Now, it looks like Skolaski has completed the construction of a mining station in the orbit of Uranus, which is fantastic. As you guys can see, we have gone from 3 energy credits per month to 6, which is incredible. We doubled our energy profit per month, which is great. Very, very good. Don't show me again. Let's move our construction ship back into the Terrascian orbit. Over here, in the orbits. And actually, something of note, which is quite useful for those of you who have this game, is if you have a military fleet and you enter the orbit of a planet that is yours, or in the particular science, I guess, station, whatever this is, spaceport, you are actually able to pay a little bit less in mineral upkeep, which is always a good thing. So again, now that our construction ship is done, we are going to send him back in Terrascian orbit, which I think I've already sent him to do, yeah. And our science ship is almost done surveying the system, so we can, in the next episode, send him out into the neighboring solar systems, where we will hopefully find a continental planet to colonize. Right. So, with that being said, before the end of this episode, as we are getting to the very, very end, I'm going to go ahead and check out our actual home planet, as we have yet to do it. Our governor is Wan Cheng, who has like a Latino/Chinese name. Yeah, we've got a very multi-ethnic society here on Terrassia. Just because it is a totalitarian dictatorship does not mean it is a multi-ethnic society. So let's go ahead and go to the surface and check out what exactly we've got going on over here. So we've got our planetary administration over here, which is fantastic, and it looks like we are relatively prosperous planet. We do, of course, have some tiles that are currently on upgraded, which we will get to here in a minute. But for the large part, we've got several mining networks, some power plants, and a hydroponics farm, which is always good. Of course, we do have these industrial wastelands and sprawling slums. We can clear them out later, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. We should instead focus on the tiles that we can work, that are being currently staffed by several of our units over here. So, for example, we could increase the food supply of our planet, which will basically allow us to increase the population of Terrassia. Let's go ahead and work on that really fast.
Some buildings
don't even want to hear it, the robot companion. Let's go ahead and work on the hydroponics farm, since we have the minerals. Or if instead we could be more inclined to set up some sort of mining network. Minerals are a very important part of this game, just as important, or if not more important, than energy credits. So it might be a good thing for us to do, to set up a mining network, which will actually get rid of the food that is being supplied by this area. But that's okay. Not a terrible idea. It would give us some minerals in the process. Let's go ahead and, let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and make a mining network. And I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. What exactly does this do? Okay, so this increases our mineral storage capacity. Our current storage capacity is 5,000. It's totally fine for the moment. Not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and work on the construction of a mining network here in this particular tile. And this kind of reminds me of Civ 5 in a way, you know, with the tiles, workable tiles. This is definitely a nod towards other types of grand strategy games, which is always a good thing. Of course, playing other Paradox Interactive games, they always go about doing this differently in terms of development. So this is good. So we're working on a mining network, which will increase our mineral profit. So it'll increase it by 2. Once it's done, we will get +7 minerals. Always a good investment in our future economy here. And I hope you guys did enjoy the second episode of the Terrascian Union Let's Play series for Stellaris. Stay tuned for episode 3 when we finish the survey of our system, send out some survey ships into the neighboring, I guess, solar systems, increase our military, increase our infrastructure, of course, and begin to settle and increase our Imperial borders. Stay tuned, comrades, for the next episode. And again, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this Let's Play. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care.